Hi everyone! Welcome to Kids Club Moves. We're about to hear a story from the Bible. The Bible is the most important book in the world. It tells God's rescue plan for us. While we hear the story, we're going to do some movements. It's easy. Just watch me and do what I do. Now, let's sit on the floor. Crisscross applesauce. Great. Put your listening ears on. Now, put your hands together and put them in your lap. Good job. Now we're ready to get started. We're going to talk about a man who was hurt and the loving neighbor who helped him. Remember, do what I do. Let's stand up for this part. We begin our story a long time ago with a parable. Jesus used parables, which is just a fancy word for a story, to teach us more about God. One day, Jesus was teaching his friends. He told them, love your neighbor as yourself. But some of Jesus' friends were confused. They asked, who's my neighbor? This is a parable Jesus told them to answer their question. Once, there was a Jewish man walking on the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. Let's all pretend to walk. Good job. The road was really long, and it was very unsafe. As the man was walking, he was attacked by two robbers. His clothing was torn. He was beaten and bruised. The robbers left him on the side of the road, hurt and bleeding. A little while later, a priest was traveling down the road. The priest saw the man who was hurt and weak. The priest could have stopped to help, but when the priest saw the man, he crossed to the other side of the road and walked away. You might think that a priest would be kind and stop to help someone who needed him, but this one didn't. Later in the day, another priest was traveling down the road. The priest saw the man who was hurt on the side of the road. You might think this priest would stop to help too, but he didn't either. Instead, he also crossed by the other side of the road and walked away. Then, a Samaritan was traveling down the road. Now, Samaritans and Jews didn't like each other. In fact, they had been enemies for many years. They looked different and acted different. Instead of being friends, they didn't like each other at all. So when the Samaritan man traveled down the same road as the Jewish man, he could have ignored him or turned and crossed to the other side as the other travelers did. But when he saw the Jewish man lying on the side of the road, he felt sorry for him. The Samaritan stayed and helped. He knelt down and tended to his wounds. He cleaned them and wrapped them in cloth. The Samaritan put the Jewish man onto his donkey to take him to a safe place to get better. He even used his own money to make sure he was taken care of. The Samaritan chose to love and help someone who would normally be treated as an enemy. And guess what happened after that? Sit down with me. Jesus used this parable to teach us how to love our neighbors. And our neighbors aren't always the people that we like. All people. So now that we're sitting down with our hands back in our lap, let's thank God for this story. God, thanks for reminding us to show love and kindness to everyone, even people that are different from us. We love you. Amen. Thanks for moving along with me as we heard a part of God's story. Have a great day.